Hello, this is Jimmy Mitchell, and we are back with another episode of the Libertarian Uncensored podcast, going over all the posts on the Libertarian Uncensored subreddit. So first we have LP Texas Presidential Debate and State Convention from LP Texas Official, and they posted a cross-post to their user account. They said, LP Texas is proud to welcome Liz Wolf Reason to moderate a presidential debate on April 12, 2024 at the State Convention in Corpus Christi. Get your VIP tickets today to reserve your preferred proceeding for the event. And then they link to their website for the tickets. And I think that's good, I'm glad that, they feel welcome to post on this subreddit. Because, it's nice to see an official Libertarian Party post on this subreddit, even if it's just from one of the state parties. Then we have Congress prepares to reauthorize a warrantless domestic spying program the FBI abused, from Reason.com, and I posted that, and I said, even if it fails, the FBI will probably do it anyway. That seems to be the MO for most, if not all, of the U.S. government. I also added, you need a warrant to survey someone else. They didn't have them. It's nothing new. The NSA got caught doing the same shit in 2013. It doesn't matter what the law says. The Fourth Amendment says warrant, and that's that. I'm not interpreting any other way. But, people have long since given up on the Fourth Amendment. I think the Patriot Act was over 20 years ago, and warrantless searches are now the norm. So next we have GOP logic on immigration from the crosspost from International Silver One, a crosspost from the International Silver crosspost from the Political Humor subreddit. It says Schrodinger's immigrant, lazy collecting all the welfare, but also somehow taking all the jobs. And I feel like that's true, I guess. I'm personally more on the pro-immigrant side, but I definitely think, we should be able to ask why the demographics are changing so much, as we went over in one of the last episodes, because, you're not allowed to question that without being labeled a bigot, and I think that's important as well. I do think we need as many immigrants as possible. If somebody wants to move here, I support freedom of movement, but I definitely think, we need to remember that not all immigrants are perfect. Some might be violent. Remember like the Molly Tibbetts stuff from a while ago. That might be something important to remember. I think she was killed by an illegal immigrant, and that's why we know some immigrants a lot of immigrants are great, I would say, but we do have to remember that not all of them are perfect. Then we have Trump Republicans push private school options to win over parents across party lines, from Warriors.com by Donald Key. I don't know if I commented on this one, but I'm glad that people are supporting school choice. So that's my fault there. And I personally don't care for Trump and the Republicans. I've been burned by him too many times. But yeah, it's good to see them support something like school choice. Then we have Biden's State Department paid NewsGuard to tar organizations like ours, from NY Post by 2,000th time a charm. And I said, the government has clearly shown that it desires narrative control above all else, especially since its grasp on it has never been as loose thanks to social media. Then we have Vivek Ramaswamy, Libertarian candidate in Iowa. His campaign flirts for her party run, from Des Moines Register. And I said, Ramaswamy isn't perfect, but I could definitely see myself going for him if he gets the LP nomination. Looks like he's denying it, though. And I said he does have a lot of rhetoric about reducing the size of government. I think that's pretty libertarian, but a lot of people, on this side would probably consider Joe Biden to be the apotheosis of libertarianism, so I don't think I'm going to convince them otherwise. Then we have when Nikki Haley repeats the bizarre claim that Hamas chose the debate of October 7th because it's Putin's birthday. Notice serious pundits aren't jumping up to scream conspiracy theory, even though this has to be some of the most wildly spurious dot connecting in recent history. And that's from Michael Tracy on Twitter, and I posted that, and I said, it's only a conspiracy when you say it, not when they say it. Haley is one of the neocons which the alphabet media supports, and they tend to be, they might not support over Biden, but they definitely support over the rest of the GOP field currently, And that's why, she's allowed to use logic like this, but if you use logic like this, you're a conspiracy theorist. Then we have Biden administration asserts power to seize drug patents and move to slash high prices from CNBC.com. That's from Patam 13, across from the Republican subreddit. And I definitely think that this is apparently it's the only patents that the government helped fund with taxpayer dollars. But even then, I think this might be too authoritarian. I don't think the government should be telling you what you can and can't have when it comes to a patent. The government can't just take a patent from you because it wants to, and I think that just sets a bad precedent. Then we have debunking inflation myths number 3. Democrats / Republicans are responsible for 2000 climate harm, and that's a YouTube video short from Anthony Davies, and I said they pretty much are the same party anyway. Then we have Iowa mom says school vouchers don't offset tuition increases. Students First Act doesn't put cap on private school tuition hikes, from Dangerous Ad 8554, and that's from KCRG.com. And I think they have me blocked currently, so I didn't comment on that one. But I definitely think tuition costs are going to be expensive, especially with how expensive all the schools are these days, and that's something that's important to remember. So even then, I think it's important to note that this is just kind of anti-school choice propaganda. Then we have Texas Supreme Court pauses lower court's order allowing pregnant woman to have an abortion, from APnews.com by Legio X. And I don't know, I didn't really get a comment on this one, but I definitely think we shouldn't be allowing doing so. We shouldn't be supporting. I personally think, we shouldn't be supporting state authoritarianism. I personally am more on the pro-choice side, but even if you're on the pro-life side, you do have to remember we shouldn't have the government overstepping its bounds, and that's increasingly looks like what they're doing here. The government shouldn't be telling you what to do when it comes to your own body, I think. Even if you consider it murder, I don't want the government overstepping its bounds on murder either, and that's something I think they increasingly do with how militarized the current police forces got in regards to that. Then we have 1 in 5 young Americans think Holocaust was a myth, from thehill.com, and I posted that. The top comment is scratched. One of the 100% of all Trump supporters. I said more of them voted Biden per the data. And then I added, what else? What else did I say? I said, and they should have every right to do so. They should have every right to believe the Holocaust is a myth. Interestingly, it seems that the survey also found that the people who support the Holocaust myth theory tend to be more groups that are Democrat voting than Republican voting. Example, young, racially diverse, and urban. And yeah, so that's my fault. So that's I think that's very interesting because normally people on the right are the ones called Nazis, even though they're up Israel's ass. When normally people on the left say, "Oh, we're not Nazis," but yet more people on the left deny the Holocaust than people on the right, which I think is interesting, especially when it comes to young Americans. So I just thought that was interesting. Then we have reinstate Alex Jones on this platform from Elon Musk on Twitter, and I posted that, and I said, voted yes. I would vote yes for reinstating anyone, even if they were Hitler, Stalin, or Mao, since I'm a free speech absolutist. And the poll currently I think it's closed by now. Let's see. Yeah, it's final. Alex Jones, we asked 70.1%, no 29.9%. So looks like we're gonna see Alex Jones back on Twitter. I wonder if he has a new tweet yet. Let's see if he has a new tweet yet. Here I just retweeted Andrew Tate, I think. Yeah. Then we have someone had to do it from LPPA on Twitter, and I posted that, and I said that's their meme they shared. It was the stockings were hung by the chimney of care, and just like Epstein, they didn't hang themselves there. And I said the Epstein's client list is a real life naughty list. And we have Can This Possibly Be True by Labor Friendly, and that's a cross post from the Political Humor subreddit. And it says, both sides bad people when you ask them to criticize Republicans. And it's a guy doing the peace out sign and disappearing. And I said, let's see, I said, I agree with everyone else here that Republicans are bad, but no one cares that they can't criticize Democrats for the life of them. So that just goes to show you that, that at least they don't pretend that both sides are bad. But, the thing is that they both are bad, even if, lesser evil is still evil. And especially since the Democrats, they can control the narrative a lot better than the Republicans can. That's why they personally scare me a little bit more. Then we have, there is an anti-system which is called Libertarianism, which means to tear down everything which creates some kind of influence of government into private lives. From ResistCBDC on Twitter, on Twitter, and I posted that, and I said, Schwab talking about libertarianism is probably one of the only times he's correct about something if he means otherwise. Then we have our ANCAP's anarchist from Fuck Tim Beck 6969. They said, I personally don't think so, but I'm curious what you all think. I personally would think if they want to consider themselves anarchists, I think they should be able to consider themselves anarchists, but, I think, if I personally consider that they just want a different hierarchical system than the one we currently have, I would say. And I'm personally very against the hierarchical system, And I think in the ANCAP world, the corporations rule instead of the governments. And currently we just kind of have the government corporations ruling in comparison, so I don't think an ANCAP world would be that different from the one we currently see anyway. So that's my thoughts there. Then we have a W from Amash, and that was a link from FlimsyL563, and they tweeted, and it's a link to a tweet, language, and he was responding to Mark R11, there are no innocent Palestinians, he says, language like this dehumanizes and endangers people of Palestinian descent everywhere, replace Palestinians in the headline of any other race of your race, and if you would tolerate it. And I would agree with that. Then we have Retail Group retracts startling claim about organized shoplifting from nytimes.com by Frosty Slowman. And I think they might have me blocked currently, so I don't know if I can comment on that one, but I definitely think that, I do think there might be, some shoplifting is getting really bad, and I definitely think it's important to note that you increasingly can't criticize it without them coming after you for it. Then we have Congress spent $7.5 billion on EV chargers after 2 years none are built. And I said, that's from Reason.com by 2000 Charm, and I said, Congress always knows how to waste money like no one else. Then we have Elizabeth Warren's fears of a sandwich shop monopoly need a bite of reality from 2000 Time of Charm. And that's another Reason.com post. And I said, I don't know if I said anything on this one, but, yeah, I definitely think we shouldn't be using government force to justify breaking up private decisions. Even then, I do think corporate authoritarianism is a thing, but I don't think government authoritarianism is a justification for it. Then we have take time to appreciate the benefits of free trade from Cato.org by 2000 Time Charm, and I would agree with that headline. Yes, so that's my thoughts there. Then we have, that's what it seems like at this point from ZL563, and that's an meme of a guy for a GOP pin yelling, "Oh, it's slippery slope. You let one woman not die, and pretty soon all the women will not want to not die." And that's just, I would say, another just another agenda post when it comes to the Texas thing. I personally said that I personally don't really care about, I'm more on the pro-choice side, but the thing is that we shouldn't have the state doing authoritarian actions just to, stop people's bodily autonomy. And even then, it's still just ignoring all the authoritarian actions the Democrats do just because the Republicans are bad on this issue. Then we have Hello Base, bring back the old school ACLU, free speech over everything from Hannah Cox, and that was her on Twitter, and I posted that, and that was her reply to the NRA case about the ACLU representing the NRA in a free speech case, and I said fire must be eating into their pie too much. Hope they also get into all the censorship universities that's going on, but that might be too much to ask of them. Then we have the Israeli government is directly relying on the American taxpayer for funding their war crimes from International Silver One, and that's cross from the Palestine subreddit. And I guess that might be true, but the U.S. government funds probably a lot of other war crimes as well, not just as the Israeli government's. Then we have Biden administration sent billions in tax dollars to fraudulent solar company from SlayNews.com, and that's the number 2005 charm. I said, no one knows how to waste money like the U.S. government. Then we have GOP's Vance seeks investigation into op-ed that criticized Trump after a journalist warned of possible Republican dictatorship. Senator J.D. Vance connected law enforcement requesting a possible criminal investigation from SNBC.com by Willing Dan. And I definitely think Vance might be corrupt, but they pretty much all are corrupt, so that's important to remember as well. And then I'll do a bonus post today from the Libertarian subreddit, the non-censored one, and I said, what was it? It was a false on jury by living on my own, and they said, just check them out so you see the jury noticed. This is my first time. I got someone when I was about 19, made it through the first round, but before they ended, I was not picked as a juror. And I said, where is it? Down there. I said, like everything else related to government, you should be able to opt out, otherwise it's forced collectivism. And I think we're gonna wrap it up there. I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye.